I am Juliet Johnson, the Dean of Recruitment and Admissions here at Fisk. I've probably only been here about 8 months now, but I have thoroughly enjoyed my time here being at Fisk and, of course, being back at an historically black college. So how many of you have been on Fisk's campus before? Very good, good. Well, I don't know if you have time, but certainly after lunch, please take a little opportunity to walk around the campus. Fisk is a wonderful place. It is a vibrant place. It is a very special place. And so I always want to encourage students to think about Fisk when you think about your future educational endeavors. But what I want to do quickly, in essence of time, is to introduce our provost, who basically handles the heart of the campus, which is basically the academics. So without further ado, let me introduce Dr. Rod Hanley, who is our Vice President of Academic Affairs.
In talking about Fisk, one of the things that we could spend a lot of time talking about is the history of Fisk. It was formed in the aftermath of the Civil War. The people that have come through Fisk, the generations of students before have helped shape the trajectory of an entire nation, ranging from W.E.B. Du Bois to scientists, to social scientists, to humanities specialists and poets and so on. Fisk has been, even though we're a small institution, we've had a tremendous impact, not just here in Nashville. We're the oldest university in Nashville. You may not have known that. But we're also, we've had tremendous impact at the level of the entire nation. But what I really want to talk about more than that is where we are right now, where we are in the present, and maybe a little bit about where we're going in the future. Now, one thing you don't know, well, you probably do know, this is a tough time for students coming into higher education. The challenges confronting higher universities and colleges all across the nation are more profound today than they ever have been in the history of the country. Funding is being pulled by various state governments. It's harder and harder to get grant money. Students are looking for more amenities, different kinds of educational opportunities. Students want access to the jobs upon graduation that they studied for. All of this is putting tremendous pressure on our colleges and universities all across the nation, and here at Fisk we're no different. But one of the things that really makes us special is our faculty and staff. We are a smaller institution on purpose. We provide a level of attention and care and dedication to our students that I don't think our students would get at any other institution. Oh, sure, as you look around at universities and colleges around Tennessee or the nation, you might find places that are bigger. You might find places that have huge buildings and so forth. But I don't know if you'll find any place where a professor will get to know you by name, that if you've been missing class for a couple of days and as you walk across the yard, that professor will find you. They will ask you why you've been missing class, right? It's impossible to come to Fisk University and sit in the back of a class and the professor not get to know your name. And we take great pride in that. I sometimes tell parents of potential students that if you want your son or daughter to go to university and sit anonymously in the back of the class and the professor never gets to know their name, don't look at Fisk. That's not what we're about. Go to the big university over in Knoxville or go to a different place across town. But if you want to come to a place and get to know your professor, work on projects with your professor, have the professor get to know you and where your interests are and so on, Fisk is for you. Now, one of the things that we also take great pride in at Fisk is what our faculty are doing. You may not know this, but among liberal arts colleges in the United States, Fisk ranks #1 in research grants obtained. #1 in the nation. That's not just in Nashville or Tennessee. It's #1 in the entire nation. And we're really proud of that. Our faculty are doing cutting-edge research in all of our STEM-related areas. In case you don't know what STEM means, it's science, technology, engineering, and math. So that's so we're very active in those areas. Our faculty are doing research funded by the Department of Defense, the National Science Foundation, the National Institutes of Health, and the list goes on. They're regularly sought out as singular experts in their field. When a student comes, begins to get to know our faculty, that opens doors for them later on. It may be access to a job upon graduation. It may be access into a professional school, medical school, dental school, engineering programs, you name it. And we've had students go to all these places. We're really proud of what we do here at Fisk, and we're really proud of that sort of family approach. When I first got to Fisk a few years ago, I heard this phrase, and I know Ms. Johnson, she probably uses the phrase called Fisk family. And I thought, Fisk family, university family. I mean, how can it really is true here. It's true. It's you get to know the people that are here. This is in a way, this is like a small town. The Fisk campus is a very small town where everybody knows you, and you get to know almost everybody else. And it's a thing to behold when it's really working well. So I just want to close my remarks by saying welcome to Fisk University. If you get a chance to peruse through the different buildings, please do so. I know there's a schedule of activities for today, and I just want to close by saying thank you for coming and welcome.
Good morning. I bring you greetings as the Executive Director from the Samaritan Ministry of the Temple Church Incorporated, which is located just about a half mile from here at 1041 28th Avenue North. It is Samaritan Ministries where we feed the hungry and help the hopeless. Samaritan Ministries is the outreach ministry of the Temple Church. It is our church's 501c3. Today, I came by just to let you know, just for a minute, that you are a great example for children who are in our community. Samaritan Ministries was organized in 1984, and for 33 years, we've been feeding thousands of people ranging in age from children to elders. We continue to provide clothing, medical, and dental referrals, spiritual as well as psychological and drug addiction counseling referrals. In 2016, we've prepared approximately 45,000 meals and hundreds of weekend snacks and canned goods for those individuals in need. Thanks to young people like you donating thousands of canned goods, we've been able to provide not just hot meals, but food boxes as well. You are great, and I think you should give yourselves a hand for that. You are not just great because of who you are and where you've come from, but you're great for the children that we teach and serve as well. The other part of this ministry is to help of helping the hurting, the hopeless, and the hungry is to support, educate, and empower our children who reside in the North Nashville community of Cumberland View Housing Development, where we've been present for 26 years. When our children see what you do around the state providing food for those who do not have it, it provides an example of what it means to be an outstanding student in this day and time. So today, I commend you for your heartfelt efforts to continue the quest for feeding the hungry, giving hope to the hopeless, and providing care for the hurting, because when people can't feed their children or themselves, they feel all of the above. I want to let you know that you are an example of what Jesus taught using a child and his lunch to feed 5,000. You are an example for the word that states, when I was hungry, you fed me. You are the example of the 12-year-old Jesus when he separated from his parents to be about his Father's business. Because you have done such exemplary work, God has sent this message for you today. Obey the Lord your God, then all these blessings will come and stay with you. You, my children, will be blessed in the city. You will be blessed in the country. Your children will be blessed. Your livestock will be blessed. Your children will be blessed when you come in and when you go out. But you must continue to do what God wants you to do and obey his commands. Then you will be the lender, not the borrower. You will be the head and not the tail. You will be above and not beneath. Continue to obey God and do this work that you are doing, and others will see you and call you great. You are a great group of young people. Thank you so much.
When I came for Scholars Weekend, which is an event for prospective students, what I found most interesting is that some people already knew my name, and they looked further than just an application. They saw me as a student with talents and characteristics that could do something for their school. So now as a junior, I've gotten the opportunity to intern in a variety of places and even expand my network. And when I go back home, I get to share my experiences with my friends, and without hurting their feelings, I keep it to myself, but my experiences have been a lot better than theirs because of Fisk University. So.
Yeah, just to piggyback off what she said, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. It's only, we're like 3 hours away. So that was a big decision coming to Fisk because it was so close to home. But all I have to say is great things about Fisk. If it weren't for Fisk, I probably wouldn't be the young man you see in front of you today. You have professors that care about you. You have people in the admissions office or in the career services offices that help you out. Like Miss Wells, she just got my resume like perfect for medical school. And without the help of professors and just staff, at most universities you don't get the opportunity to meet with professors or just people around campus just to help you out with small things such as a resume. So just small details like that, it will, it will go a long way, and you will appreciate coming to Fisk if you do.
The reason why I came to Fisk is because I came here through an opportunity that we have called Scholars Weekend. And I came on campus, and I was like, wow, this is a very beautiful campus. The history here is significant in itself. And then I walked around campus, and I began to meet the people here, and what really brought me home to Fisk was that I felt comfortable. I think that it's important that when we're selecting colleges, that we choose a college in which that we feel comfortable in, somewhere that can foster our intellectual abilities, and Fisk was that place for me. Instantly when I came here, I met professors. I actually met the president the first time I came here, and that was substantial to me, that I could come here from Macon, Georgia. Nobody knows me, but I can meet the president, I can meet the professors who could possibly teach me and everything of that nature. And that's what really brought me home to Fisk, is that I could come to a school where they don't know me, but they'll accept me.
All right, so now that you guys are upperclassmen, what is one thing that you wish you knew coming in as a freshman?
That everything was going to be okay if I just was able to manage my time effectively. One thing that I definitely want to highlight is that when you are in high school, you have about, well, personally I took 7 classes a day. Each class you had homework, quizzes, and tests. Here at Fisk, even if you go to a different college, you're probably going to have 3 to 4 classes a day, and you might not have as much homework. But if you wait and procrastinate, that workload is going to get to you. So just take the time to organize your schedule so that you don't get bombarded with assignments later in the future. And so that when you work on your homework and your essays, you still have time to go out, make friends, and enjoy the city as well.
One thing I wish I would have took advantage of is getting to know the professors and the staff more for more opportunities around the city and just using their connections. I learned that a little bit later on down the road, like my junior year, but if I would have knew that right off the bat coming in freshman year, that the faculty and staff were so helping and willing to help, I definitely would have, took a greater advantage of that.
One of the things that I wish I would have known before I came to Fisk is just to be more bold, take more risks, take advantage of opportunities. One of my favorite quotes about Michael Jordan is, every shot you don't take counts as a missed opportunity. And I strongly believe that Fisk has a bunch of opportunities for you. You just have to find them, you just have to ask around, you just have to find the right person to guide you to the opportunity. Like, I'm a biology major right now, and I was actually fortunate enough to start my research this year. And the reason why I started research is because I opened my mouth and I asked about it. I asked my professor about it. I said, you know what, I'm applying to medical school, and the one thing that I'm missing is research. I was wondering if I could just be a part of your lab, learn a couple techniques, and just learn how to do research the proper way. And she was so accepting. She said, yes, of course I would do that for you. So the one thing that I wish I would have known is to be more bold, take advantage of opportunities, and just to be yourself and have fun.
Okay. College is a lot about academics, but it's also about having fun and enjoying your college experience. And having a lot of friends to enjoy that with is also very important. But what's also important is having a few friends who can hold you accountable for the different goals you have set for your life. And so when you have those type of people, it becomes easier to know how to balance fun and academics. So that's one of the things I've learned throughout my matriculation here at Fisk University, is that if you're going to have fun, be responsible about it. So get your stuff out of the way so you can not feel as guilty for going out on a Friday night, instead of coming back that Sunday and having a lot of work to do. So
Academics come first. That is the reason you're here. I'm in a fraternity, so I like to have fun also, but it's a balance. If you don't balance, you will be back home sitting on the couch with your parents, watching TV, and that's not what you want. You want to come here and graduate, get a degree, and go to the next level so that you can gladly sit on the couch with your parents.
This is a small enough campus that it keeps you focused. It's not big enough where that your head gets lost or that you have a million distractions. You can come to Fisk, you can have fun. Me and Thaddeus are in the same fraternity. We have our times where we have fun, but we also have our times where we buckle down and we get to work and to business, because that's what we are about. And Fisk helps you with that. There are things that you can do on this campus, but there's really not like an overwhelming number of things to do. And that's a good thing, but and if you want to do more, you can always go, off campus. We have a lot of schools like in close proximity to us. For instance, Vanderbilt, TSU, even Belmont and Lipscomb. So the opportunities to have fun are definitely in Nashville. But the thing is, the balance at Fisk will help you stay balanced in a way, because like I said previously. It's so small that it keeps you balanced. It's so small that your focus stays here and that you won't think about other things to do.
And one more thing. Just make sure you have a core set of friends, because if you have those friends that like to party too much and don't worry about their books as much, you will find yourself, following them and going down that path instead of why you truly came here, and that is, to get your degree.
So I'm a part of different organizations on campus. One of them is the Student Government Association, which I serve as Chief Justice. During my time at Fisk, I've interned in a variety of places, nonprofits, the courthouse, the mayor's office, and it's exposed me to different people who started with my major and ended up going to law school and majoring in something else. So for me, I knew that I wanted to become an attorney, and I still do. But what I wanted to focus on constantly changes. And after meeting and building relationships with different people who had the same interests I did, and I asked them, how did you figure out what you wanted to do? And they told me, well, I tried to figure out what made me the most happy, and then I incorporated it into my career. And for me, it's serving people. I love trying to inspire students, because I understand that education is very important. So it has allowed me to figure out that I do want to become an attorney, but also get my degree in education policy so I can have a greater impact and serve my community and possibly the students around the globe.
The goal you have, keep it. Don't let anybody deter you from it. Just don't let anyone tell you that you can't. Those are the words that can mess up a lot of things for you. And just believe in yourself. Don't let anybody tell you can't, and just keep chasing your goal. It might change up. Like after things got a little rough, I was like, man, I don't know about being a doctor. Maybe I'll just be a physical therapist. but I snapped back into it and remembered, like, this is what I wanted for myself. No one can change this, even though it might get a little tough. You gotta stick it through, and the end result will be in your favor. So just remember, like, do not let anyone stop you from what you want in life.
An humongous task and just a overwhelming pressure to put on an 18 or 19-year-old to pick a major and to decide on that major and to stick with that major for the rest of your life. You're just graduating high school. You have barely really got out here in this world and really took it for what it has to offer. But one thing I would advise all of you to do is just to try different opportunities, read as much as possible, and research as much as possible. Those things right there will guide you to a major and things. Because when I came here, my mind was not made up on what I wanted to do. I was actually a psychology major, and I just picked psychology because it was just something I thought I had an interest for. And then later on, my sophomore year, as I began going through my classes, because we all take core classes. You're going to take your reading classes, your humanities classes, your science classes, your math classes, and things of that nature. And when you take those core classes, you really focus on those core classes, because those core classes can give you an idea of what you want to do. So my sophomore year, I'm in a biology class, and I'm like, wow, I really like this. I'm really catching on to it. I think that biology is the route that I want to take. So I took the biology route. But what also helped me make up my mind and my interest was the Fisk family. I was fortunate enough to talk to some upperclassmen who were in the same predicament that I was in, that were in the same shoes that I was in 3 to 4 years earlier. And what they told me is that you need to decide on a major that you feel like is better suited for you and that you feel like will provide you with the best opportunities in life. And that is great advice, because that's what I did. And not only did I do that, but I talked to them about what they're doing, and I aligned my visions up with theirs. So I'm like, wow, I kind of want to do the same thing. So maybe this route is for me, or maybe this route is for me. So, think about what you want to do. Hone those interests. Research it, read about it, because that will guide you into your overall goal.
Any times where you just felt like you wanted to quit and just stop college or something?
It will sometimes be very difficult, but like I said before, surround yourselves with people who are motivated and who have the same goals as you, so that if one of you is struggling, you have your friend to tell you, you can do it, you're almost there.
So this is my sophomore year. I just declared biology as my major, so there's no turning back for me at this point. I'm a sophomore, I'm getting ready to be a junior soon, so I really need to focus down the vocal. And we had a midterm for biology, right? And I've always thought I was a smart person. I came on a scholarship, always got all A's and everything, but for some reason, I failed my midterm in biology. Horrible. And I was just ready to give up. I'm like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I thought I wanted to do biology, but now I took the midterm for biology and I failed. I'm like, wow, what am I going to do? I'm probably going to fail the class. But luckily enough, this is where the Fisk family comes in, and the student to teacher interaction. So, I'm down and out, walking around my head, I'm just sad right now, So, and my teacher sees me after class, she's like, Brendan, I saw you that you didn't do well in your midterm, I can see that it's bothering you, and I talked to you about it. And it was that moment right there that I really knew that I needed the right school, because I was able to go to my professor's office, talk about every problem that I missed wrong, that I got wrong, and that we were able to correct it together. And that really sold me on this school. I was already sold on it because I was here, but that really just motivated me to just stay here.
all for coming. And take advantage of this opportunity. This will be a wonderful experience for you all, not just today, but the other 2 days that you're going to be here. And just remember, as with anything, what you get out of it is what you put into it. Okay, so come here, you're going to interact with these community leaders, take advantage of it, ask them questions. Also, I would like to thank all of our community leaders. Thank you all for taking the time out of your busy schedules to come and participate in our Career Speed Networking with our kids.
Let the networking begin. So the first 30 seconds of networking is when you introduce yourself. You're introducing yourself to the students introduce themselves to you. After that, we want to have about 2.5 minutes of small chat. Some of the questions you might want to ask are, what are you planning after high school? What are your strengths? What are you into? Things of that nature. We want to have about 30 seconds professional to provide the student with feedback and provide them constructive criticism.
Dr. Millet. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, and also what I do here is I work as Executive Vice President of Meharry Medical College. So I always like to know who is in the room with me. So do we have any people in here who want to go to medical school or be physicians or dentists like that, anything in the future? Okay. We have any people who want to be in business, business owners, any artists, musicians, anything like that? Athletes? Okay, so we got kind of everything in here. Tell me some of the schools that you all want to go to. UT Knoxville?
Gallaudet.
Okay, in the back?
MTSU.
MTSU? A lot of MTSU people. Right here in the front.
MTSU or LSU.
Okay.
MTSU.
Christian Brothers in the back? Alabama?
University of Washington.
Washington?
Kendall.
Kendall? West Point? Right there. Harvard? Right there. Okay, last three. 1, 2, and one in the back. MTSU? Ole Miss? Okay, Rose College, okay. One of the things that I think you need to do regardless of what you want to do, well, even back before that, let me just back up and tell you a little bit about myself. I am a first-generation American. My family is from Trinidad. Trinidad is an island off the coast of South America. And my family came over here to go to school. My father was a minister. My mother was a school teacher. Got one brother, one sister. I'm from Detroit. Detroit is my hometown. Some of the schools I went to, in Detroit, I went to Cass Tech High School. I went to Oakland University, which is right outside of Detroit. Master's degree and doctorate degree, the Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. I did a residency at the Medical College of Georgia in Augusta. I did an internship right here at Meharry Medical College, and I've done some other things. But regardless of what you want to do, I've got some notes, and part of what I'm going to talk about is from the notes, and part of I'm just going to talk regular. First thing is that if you want to do any of those things that you said, you have to be prepared to work hard. As my mother used to say, nobody owes you nothing. You have to work for it. And some people have an entitlement, you have to work for it. And now when I was in school, everybody was not like that. But you know, who wants a dentist who's the bottom of the class? Who wants the last person to graduate out of medical school? I mean, you have to work hard. But when I was in school, I guess I would say I was one of those people that had to work hard. You know how you have some people who seem like they go to school and everything seems easy for them? Yeah. It seems like you work hard and they get an A, and it doesn't seem like they put any effort into it, and you might have studied, you got a B or a C. I was one of those students. I was a student who just couldn't get it. I was never the A student. I was a student, even when I was in elementary school, I had to stay after school because I didn't get it. I was the one, the teacher had me up to next to her. I raised my hand so much in school because I didn't get it, because the teacher eventually just pulled my desk up. You know how sometimes in school, the student's desk would be right next to the teacher? That was mine. I was right. She said, Peter, what now? And she got so tired of me raising my hand because she say something. So now you saying 12 goes into what? And you know how some people just don't get it. And she got so tired, she had me right next to her so she could just lean over. I had to go by the principal's office, show him my homework. Couldn't get it, but I had some friends, and it seemed they did not do the work, but they got the A's. And this is how school used to be when I was in school. The teacher would take, they don't do this now because it'd be a problem. The teacher used to take your grades and put your name next to your grade. See, she remembers that. They put your name next to your grade on the board in front of the stool. And so, can you imagine that? If you're not the top student in the school, it'll say, Susan, 100. And they would list them in descending order. And so I would look at the teacher. She'd be writing, Curtis, 100. Susan, 97. And then she gets down to the 80s. And she gets to the 70s. Dog, I didn't even get a 70 this time. 60s. We're still going. We're still going. Now, I know I'm not by myself in all of this. And the parents have the parent-teacher conferences. And so I worked extra hard. I would get tutoring. But see, But see, here's what the difference was, because if you look at career-wise, and I'm not boasting, but career-wise, I'm further than anybody I went to school with. But it's not because I was so quote-unquote smart. I never thought of myself as one of those smart people. But I worked hard. I was persistent. My nickname when I was in school was Bulldog, even before it was a Bulldog. And that was because when I would get hold of something, I would not let it go. I would not stop. I would stay up all the way until the sun came back up and just go to class, because I was determined that I was going to get that kind. So if you were one of those people who it does not come easy for, who have to stay up extra and work, there's nothing wrong with that. It is persistence is going to pay off more than anything else. So first point I want you to get is work hard. Never give up. Do not be discouraged. Second point I'm going to tell you is you have to dream big. Sometimes, right now, you're probably thinking about, I'm in high school, and you're doing okay in high school. And just the fact that you're here, you're smart. But there's always going to be, for some people, there's this doubt. Well, can I make it through high school? I'm applying to college. Can I make it through college? First, can I get into college? After you get into college, it's will I be able to make it out of college, etc. Because college, when you get to college, you can see it is completely different. It is completely different. If you can go to class or don't go to class, nobody's going to call you. Nobody's going to follow up on you. You know, either you do nobody's going to stay on you. Did you do the work? Did you turn the assignment? Either you do it or you don't. There was a professor where I used to work at, in terms of being on time for class. When it hit 9 o'clock, click. She closed the door. She'll lock the door. She would put a note on the door that said, class has started, go home. And she would not open it. That was it. That's how Dr. Sabolkin rolled. That's how she, and you have to remember that when you get to college, it's going to be a different level. And there's going to be a difference between the experience. People get to college, and everybody has a different experience. There's a song that I like, and the words start off, you don't know my story. And that is going to be a very true statement. Everybody can be around a college campus, but what they took to get there is very different. You don't know my story, all the things that I've been through. You don't know my pain, what I've had to go through to get here. And so when you get to college, you need to work hard. You need to dream big. You have to believe that you have the endurance to overcome any obstacle. You need to have faith. You need to believe, and I'm not going to tell you what to believe, but you need to believe that there is a higher power that can give you guidance and support. That you do not have to make it by yourself. And you have to see yourself how you want to be. I have a house that I live in right now. I never lived in nice houses. We used to live in apartments. Sometimes we didn't have any food in the house. I said, I always want to have my own house. I want to have a nice house. So, how you see these nice houses in the magazines? I found one, and I cut it out. I said, one day I'm going to have a house just like that. I'm going to have that house. I'm going to have a nice brick house with a driveway that can hold 2 and 3 cars. I'm going to have all this stuff. You have to picture yourself, picture what you want, and then whenever you engage in a behavior, you have to say, is this behavior helping getting me to this goal, or is it taking me away from this goal? There's a lot of times in my life when if I had gone this way, instead of going this way, I would have been in a very different situation. Like you see all of us right now, we're walking around in suits and everyone looks refined. You all look like this, look very nice, very professional. But I would tell everybody, don't let the suit fool you. You know, all of us did not always look like this. All of us did not always have these, you know, some of us grew up rough. Some of us grew up rough. I'm from Detroit, Northwest Side. Have you ever seen this movie or heard of this movie called Cooley High?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I grew up, I'm 3 blocks from Cooley High. You wouldn't know it by looking at me, but that was my environment growing up. And that's going to take me to my next point. Remember to give back. You have a debt to pay. Now, when I grew up in my neighborhood, there's one gang down here called the Errol Flynn Gang, and another gang down here called the Shane Gang. And when you went out, I mean, we don't think about these things right now, but we had to make sure, okay, when I go out, if I go this way, I can't wear that color. And when I go this way, I can't wear that color. And I don't need to go in this part of the neighborhood past this particular night. And if I go down that way, I can't go past that street right there. I don't want to go past 5 Mile Road on that side of the road. So that's kind of environment where I grew up. And a lot of my friends did not make it out. Some of them did. Some were locked up. Some were in the cemetery. Some just disappeared. Nobody knows where they are. They were there and then they were just gone. But since I made it out of that environment, one of the things that I do here is I feel that I have to help other people get out. If you are so blessed as to reach some level of success, don't build a taller wall. You need to build a longer table. You need to try to help other people get to where you are. Remember that in order to get there, you all look good right now. You all look very nice. But remember, somebody had to sacrifice for you to be where you are right now. Somebody's father's working 2 and 3 jobs. Somebody's mother didn't get what she wanted. Somebody had to go and get the cheap hair instead of the expensive hair at the hair salon place. I'm not looking at anybody. Somebody up here so they can tell. Number 4, and I'm coming to a close. I only got 5 points. One is, like Spike Lee said years ago in a movie, do the right thing. Always do what is right. Always tell the truth. You need to have your own mind. Guard your reputation. Always carry yourselves as ladies and gentlemen. Martin Luther King said, the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. So this means you always stand up for what is right, even if it means being unpopular, even if telling the truth is going to mean you have to stand alone. Always do what is right. And the last thing that I'm going to say is that something that a lot of people do not do, always remember that everybody is somebody. Everybody is important. Everybody has a story. When I started my job here, I've been here a month now, and true, some of the people that it's important to have a good relationship with, the president, vice president, but who do you think is equally important? Janitor, secretary, all those people. Now, because here's what you might not think about. Who is it in an office building that's in everybody's office that knows all the information? And a lot of times when you see people in these positions, you think they're invisible. You don't even see them. You don't even see them. But they have the information. They know what's going on. I'm telling you, you want them to be on your side because they can let you know what's going on in a business. at an institution. When I grew up, at one point, I was a janitor. I was cleaning people's toilets. At one point, my father was a janitor. And I'm sure some other people in here, I'm not the only one, whose parents had kind of rough jobs so that you could be here and enjoy what you're doing now. So in sum, let me tell you that coming from those beginnings, I'll tell you what I was doing. I was from somebody who grew up in the rough side of Detroit, trouble in school, never one of the cool kids because I had to spend every time working. However, by working hard, and I have to say with faith in God, I have 3 degrees. I have a bachelor's degree, I have a master's degree, I have a doctorate degree, I'm a licensed clinical psychiatrist with a degree with a health service provider designation. I've studied at Ohio State, I've studied at Harvard, I've studied at Princeton, I've studied at the Medical College of Georgia, I've studied at Yale, I've studied at the Augusta Veterans Medical Center. And this is for somebody who was just an average student. So in sum, what I want to say is that if you are the average student, all you have to do to succeed is work hard. After you work hard, you get to some level of success, remember to give back because you didn't get there by yourself.
Right.
Thank you very much. Everybody have any questions? Are we good? Any questions?
That was amazing. That was good.
Okay. I just tell you the top medical school, Meharry Medical College. No bias there at all, no bias. Meharry Medical College.
Please give Dr. Millet another round of applause. Dr. Millet, I really appreciate you being here today. Excuse me. And this is the 16th year that we hosted our annual Leadership and Training Conference. We started off with 160 young people, and we now have served over 14,000. I can relate to a lot of the things you talked about. I really like the nugget that you left us with. Don't build a higher wall, build a longer table. So many times if young people that make it, quote unquote make it, seem to have amnesia. And I thank you for making time to be here not only with our young people, but to explain that better is possible and just doing good is not enough. And so with that, I want to present you with a token of appreciation. A few years ago, I met a guy named Zig Ziglar, and I adopted one of his quotes. And the simply reads, of all the attitudes we can acquire, surely the attitude of gratitude is the most important, by far the most life-changing. That's how I say thank you. I've been saying that for a while. You see some repeating students come back and remember my quote, but we want to present you with the Save a Student Award on behalf of
I would like to thank you all so much for this opportunity to speak with you. Students and events like this is one of the highlights of the position that I have here at the institution. So I want to encourage you to work hard, to dream big, to believe in yourself, to remember that everybody is somebody, and once you have received some level of success, remember to reach back and help somebody else to achieve their dreams. Thank you so much. Let me take one last moment. The president of Meharry Medical College, Dr. James Hildreth, has just entered the room, and I'm going to put him on the spot and ask him to come over and just say a word to you.
Welcome to Meharry. As you know, we're one of the 4 HBCU medical schools in the country. I'm sure Dr. Millet probably told you all that. And I'm the proud president of the Medical College. The only thing I want to say, I'm sure he's covered a lot of this, but the main point I hope you got is that this is your world. You have every right to shape it the way you see fit. And my advice to you would be that whatever your passion is, whether it's art or English or music or sports or whatever it is, you need to do that. And whatever you do, don't let anyone ever steal your dreams from you. Are you with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right? So life is about getting knocked down, but as my mother used to teach me, it doesn't really matter how many times you get knocked down. What really matters is what?
How many times you get back up?
How many times you get back up. See, these guys.
You got it going on, though.
Needless to say, we're very excited to have such an amazing group of young people visit us. And I hope that one day some of you will find yourselves in our lecture halls as medical students or dental students or PhD students. So thank you again for coming by. We're excited to have you. Just know that we're one of the best medical schools, dental schools in the country. And one day we'd love to see some of you here training to be professionals, okay? Thank you all.